very welcome to a special episode of the Take a Poll podcast, episode 142. Deck, we're closing in on 150, so nearly there.
Yeah.
Getting there for the Easter again, will it? Very good.
Yeah.
How are things? How are you?
Yeah, good. Still recovering a little bit from the few days away now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there was a lot of red wine consumed. So I was tired this morning, but look, it's a good weekend of racing. Obviously, we've Fairyhouse on Saturday and Naas on Sunday, so we couldn't be missing it, could we?
No, absolutely not. I'll be away on the plane, probably committing treason out in Cheltenham instead of going to Fairyhouse. You looking to get racing this weekend?
I'll be sure sponsoring the race on Sunday, the Limestone Lad again.
Oh yeah.
As part of the Naas Business Club. So
happy days. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. It was good crack last year when Amsterdam won. It was a nice horse to, nice connections to be presenting the trophy to. So
yeah.
Looking forward to it again. It's a meal and I'll have a few drinks and it's nice to be involved. But really looking forward to getting to Fairyhouse on Saturday because I think it's a meet we do quite well at.
It was a meet, yeah. You did pretty well at last year as well. Like Fairyhouse in January, it's
well, it nearly is.
Nearly, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly,
yeah, giving him a run for his money for sure. Anyway, right, let's get straight into it with a special guest. It's been a decent period for special guests. Obviously, we have Sean, Peter, a few of the others, but it's our first time, I believe, having a jockey as a special guest. Deck, this is a young lad you know very well, 25 years of age, up and coming. Hopefully we're going to see a lot of him in the very near future. Lee Shanahan, thanks for joining us. How are things? How are you?
Thanks for having us, lads. Yeah, all good. How is yourselves?
Oh, no complaints here, Lee. All good with myself. So yeah, it's great to have you on. You are in the amateur ranks at the moment, coming fresh off riding a winner last week at Punchestown, Be Fierce, at 10-1 no less. Nice cold ride out the back and strong in the finish as well. It was a lovely ride. So maybe tell us a little bit about your most recent winner and then what you're kind of looking to achieve for 2026.
Yeah, Be Fierce was nice. It's grand to get now. I had a winner then on Sunday pointing as well for Ross. And looking to just try get as many rides and hopefully lead to more winners and keep rocking on and try getting the winners in, you know what I mean? Like, it's what it's all about, I suppose.
Yeah, it's really been starting to turn for you, Lee. Obviously the one on the track was massive, for Mr. Riders Racing and Ted Walsh. You must got a great buzz out of it. And what did Ted say to you afterwards? Or was it just expected?
No, he did. He told me going out that he's a weak finisher and all that crack, and he wanted a patient ride and the whole lot. And I remember walking the track and I looked up about 2 furlongs down. I said, if I could still be holding on to him here and ride him to be third, hopefully he'd be placed. And when I was actually riding him then, passing the 2 furlong pole, everything in my body was screaming to kick, but at the count of 10 and gap appeared, then I switched in, got a lovely travel out of him all the way down to the last, and now he went and done well. It was nice. Look, I suppose the favourite was his first run in a handicap, probably inexperienced be him when he missed the second last. It was nice getting, obviously coming back into Ted full of praise. No better man to be getting praise off if he's seen it all, done it all. So it was nice now, it was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't have said it better yourself. And yeah, exactly, getting praise off someone like Ted Walsh, definitely, I would say, a nice feeling. So you're telling me offline you're based around the Curragh at the moment, and you mentioned Ross there, so you're in with Ross very regularly and then you're looking around the Curragh for a few bits of extra work, is that it?
Yeah, like I'll be full-time in Ross's, and in fairness to Ross now, whenever lads would ring you there and you try to build up contacts around the Curragh and that's the right work, he'd always let you slip off that few minutes early and that and go on up and school or riding bits of work and stuff like that. It's all trying to, build up a contact list, I suppose, and hopefully if the lads that you're riding for have one in, they might stick you up, and you might get a day out of it, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it's all about. It's, as you said, your contact list, like Deck probably knows this in sales as well. You know, it's really is who you know, and trying to retain, you know, I suppose they're customers in a way for you as well, the people that you have, you know. So, yeah, so I suppose you can, talking about now next, you're on the bigger side now, 6'2". So what is the most like comfortable weight that you think you'd be happy to do now? Because obviously that's a big thing for jockeys nowadays. What's your what do you think you'd be comfortable doing?
Yeah, well, actually, shocked for the size of me. I normally stand at 10 stone strips, so I can claim off of 10.7 if I obviously have a few days' notice. All it is losing a couple of pounds there, which you do easy enough out for a jog or whatever, and I'd claim 7 off of 10.7 easily. I've done it before, and you know, so if anyone's listening out there, don't be afraid to give me a shout for any of them lightweights.
Well, look, I'd say anyone who's watched, you know, especially that ride at Punchestown last week, like it's not just your height you stand out for on the back of a horse. Like you're quite stylish in the saddle as well, and like that was visually very impressive. Like it was like watching Paul Carberry coming there. You got the Golden Highway up the rail, and so it's not just the height you stand out for. It is your style, and so a lot of your rides can be ice cold. Like you rode Kiandana for us, and you gave an absolute peach, took your time, and like there's not many amateurs, you know, with no experience of riding around Cheltenham could do what you've done, and like you made a lot of people very happy that day. We're very unlucky, but where did you learn to ride like a man from Tallaght? I know most people in Tallaght can ride horses, but where did you learn to ride race horses?
Yeah, well, I suppose, look, when you go back, I was always hunting with my father and stuff like that. But obviously watching racing as a kid, I always wanted to be a jockey. So left school and went to the racing academy. And they placed me in Dermot Wells then after about 3 months in there. And I suppose when you've started off riding in a flat yard, the lads in there would be telling you, you know, pull them irons up shorter, you know, get your back down, you know, trying to get you stylish. And Paddy Smullen was around back then as well when I was in Wales. And they did that slight flat style, I suppose, compared to some of the jump lads where they stand up a bit taller, a bit sluggish over, kind of came part into it. And then obviously when I went to Ross's, then that was kind of just my style of riding then, because it nearly just became muscle memory. And you know, being tall, it had always been in the back of my head to try tuck in, get as neat as possible. And it's not an easy thing to do because you really have to get down in behind them, but after a while it just becomes muscle memory, I suppose.
Yeah, it is. It's you are quite stylish for the big man, like particularly in those amateur races, because you don't see it an awful lot. So yeah, look, there has to be trainers that have noticed that. Obviously, we're coming up to a big time of the year. There's the Cheltenham Festival, and there's rides to be picked up in the Fox Hunters and the Kinmore. So I don't know whether Ross has anything down there, but if he doesn't, I'm sure you'd be available, and I'd imagine you'd be delighted to get a call. Is there anything that might be on the horizon?
I don't think there's anything laid out for me just yet, but if anyone at all had one in that they were looking for an amateur, don't be stuck and taking 7 off his back as well.
Yeah, exactly. He makes it a massive distance around there in those big races.
Oh, 100%, like 100%.
Well, so sorry, Andy, you've been riding almost every week now, Lee. Obviously, we see it an awful lot on the Behind the Bridle social media page, and you know you're riding. I know you're riding. You're a lot more now than you were a year ago, 18 months ago. Do you want to tell us about the Behind the Bridle page? Because obviously, I see it all the time, and you're getting to know more and more names. I think it's massive for the point-to-point scene, and you know we'd love to see more of it. It's really great content.
Yeah, like the missus, she always comes racing with me, and sure, she, I suppose, for a bit of interest, started doing the media side of things. She enjoys it, so I think point to pointing as such doesn't get as much attention as obviously racing on the track. And like Davy Boland's done a great job of it over the years, like, and he has brought attention to it. But I suppose there's no harm in having a second hand in on showing people, because it's the grassroots of racing, and some of the best horses you've seen at Cheltenham have came through the point to point ranks.
Yeah, look, that's it exactly. It's great to see, and yeah, David Boland's done a great job as well. Like, it's, these are the horses people are getting giddy about all the time on social media and looking to back for the Supreme Novices before they've seen them run. So, it'd be nice for Christine to say you heard it here first.
Yeah, 100%. Like.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Dick. Have a chat. Talk to us about a horse that has been good to you, Lee. Roy Hill, who is with Ross O'Sullivan. Obviously, you won on him last year. He made a seasonal reappearance there. Earlier a week or two ago. How's he getting on, and any upcoming plans for him?
Yeah, Roy Hill is flying. He's a legend. He's given me some of my best days, all right, and I'd say he'd be the horse that kind of got me going as such in on the big stage. He gave me my first winner on the track, and I think he was second in Drummahan anyway there a couple of weeks ago. Ran a cracker, obviously entitled took his blow, first run back. I'm pretty sure the plan is to go back for the Hunters Chase in Naas next month, which will be exciting because going to defend the title, I suppose, and he's a good horse. He loves soft, heavy ground. He's not quick, but he's plenty of stamina. His jumping, that's a different scenario altogether. But he gets from A to B, and I know him. Look, we've a great relationship, I suppose, and I kind of know what he's thinking now at this stage, and I'm pretty sure he knows what I'm thinking, and kind of just works like. And I know he's been a great servant to me now, I suppose.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was the third last or second last. I think that there was some recovery there last year that went on your way to victory. Like, again, for a big man to stay in the saddle there was no mean feat.
I remember when he hit it, his head disappeared between his knees, and I was after getting a couple of slaps that season already, and my body was sore, and I said, not another one. Luckily enough, he popped up anyway. We kept intact.
Perfect. Yeah, it was a brilliant sit, and a great day. And best of luck to yourself and Roy Hill. Then was it February 7th? I think you said it nice there. So we'll be looking out for you there. What are your upcoming plans then? Immediate plans, Lee? So obviously you're talking to us again previously before recording. A lot of point-to-point meetings, particularly on Sunday this weekend. So where are you off to, and do you think you have any chances?
Well, Saturday I have 2 rides anyway, up north in Tyrella. Look, we'll be hoping 1 or 2 of them will pop up, but not overly fancying them. But one horse that I am really looking forward to is Jackson's Court in Cragmore in Limerick. He's going for the 5-year-old geldings maiden, and he was third last time out. Inexperienced, probably took the blow. Be really looking forward to riding him. I think he's going with a proper chance. And then obviously I'll have to hop back in the car and make it back for the bumper in Naas. All going well. Declarations aren't out yet, so that's obviously down to Ross then, whether we're running or not, or what's the story there. But that's touched the clouds. He was third in Navan, so look, it'd be nice to.
That's in the switch from Diesel. That's in the switch from Diesel colours, is it? The same.
It is, yeah. Paul Mullins owns him, yeah.
Yeah, and look, does anyone listening near Tyrella, if you're going there the weekend, you want to get on to me, I can send you a few pop to back this team, because I'll be at Fairyhouse. And I might be getting
it won't be Tyrella if you send a few bob, it'll be Limerick.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Limerick on Sunday.
Very good. And that's traditionally a very strong bumper at Naas as well. That it's a 2 mile tree bumper, isn't it?
Yeah,
some good horses.
He'll
Champion bumper. Yeah, I've won that race.
He'll appreciate the extra 3 furlongs. I think he's probably not your typical bumper horse, but he's got a high cruising speed and he stays galloping, and the way the ground's going to be, I'd say it will suit him. Look at, bumpers now, they're so competitive, but I wouldn't change my ride in it either, that sort of way.
Absolutely.
And just, have you any ambitions to turn pro, Lee? Is it, could it be an option down the road, or are you looking to concentrate on staying amateur and being, maybe becoming champion point-to-point rider someday? I know that's not main feat now, but what is on the horizon, and what are your ambitions?
Well, obviously, being as light as I am, I'd love to turn pro. But I think it'd be silly to just dive into it without having stacked up plenty of winners as an amateur. And if you had enough ammunition, it'd be easier to turn pro and try hit the ground running as such. But I'd look like Jesus if I had a real good season this season. It could be on the cards. But you kind of just have to see how things go, and hopefully if it really snowballed and things were just rolling, I'd consider it anyway.
Yeah, look, I seen how reason why you wouldn't be able to, particularly mentioned that ride for Ted Walsh last week, very, very stylish. There's probably a lot of pros that don't have the raw ability that you have, so I think you keep your head down, keep at it, and you get a little bit of luck, the luck you deserve. It would certainly be on, I don't see why it wouldn't be on the cards for you.
Yeah, well, look, we'll see what happens anyway without committing to anything.
Fantastic.
This is what they call the ride fee, right?
So there we go. If anybody wants a good, promising young amateur that can do 10-7 and change in a race like the Kim Muir, we'll hit us up, Deck. We'll take a slice of the agent fee, is what you said.
Oh, well, I tell you what, I'm going to have a look through the entries now as soon as they come out, and I'm going to see who's down the bottom now. Who have we got? And all those phone numbers are up there.
Get on the phone.
No problem ringing them.
Very good. Well, listen, Lee, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us. Anything you want to close with, or are you happy enough to leave it there?
Yeah, no, I think that's 100%. Yeah, I'm happy out.
Awesome, awesome. Right, well, very best of luck at the weekend. Best of luck with Roy Hill, and obviously best of luck with the rest of the point-to-point season and wherever else you may be lining up. Really nice to meet you, man. Take it easy and all the best. Yeah,
thanks very much. Thanks for having me on, lads. And hopefully we have a good weekend anyway.
Hopefully.
Perfect. All the best, man. Right, moving on then, Deck. Great to have Lee in the studio there. Studio, to hear me? Getting so professional. The 12:28, let's get rattling through Fairyhouse there. The O'Kelly Brothers Demolition Right Novice Chase. First up, 2 miles and a furlong, Deck. Interesting race. Mulan being the top weight. I think that's one we put up on Stevenson's day when he won at Limerick. Form working out pretty well. Another way was pretty impressive there earlier in the week for Thomas Gibney. So chances are this could be a decent race. Chock-a-Block didn't do too much wrong either on his next start, bumping into Nelson County of Ross O'Sullivan's. He's top way here, Deck. Mulan, do you like him, or are you looking elsewhere?
Yeah, I do, because the winner of the novice handicap chase at Naas might be coming from that race as well. But I'd have it between the top two, Andy Mulan and Glenn Ashling. Mulan might be a little easier to trust than Glenn Ashling, but I'm still struggling to split them, especially with Gavin back in form now. Is Gavin in form? Is he not in form?
Who knows?
Change with the day, isn't it?
Yeah. Old Staples with now. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was into humour. Got out on the right side of bed today. Just to travel.
That's what we want to see more of. Look, he's won that rating of his chase off 120. Well, look, they were all basically off levels that day. He's gotten £2 for it. He did win 2 hurdle races in a row last year. The second one was off 104, and he probably won it like a horse with a good bit in hand as well. And then Glenn Ashling was a maiden winner. Was just touched off by serial non-starter in Luminous Light in a race where then the Bulger ran the wrong horse. We should all remember that race.
Don't tell Jack.
Coral River was behind. I'd be struggling to spit to him, Andy. But look, Moudon's probably a little bit easier to trust. But
yeah,
now that I say that, you know, it's which Glen Ashton turns up with.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a very fair point. I like Moudon. I just think he's probably a little bit above this. Obviously, 120 equaling 11, 12. So he's 2 pounds above that, carrying 12 stone. But Owen Finnegan takes the 7 off. I think he's just better than this grade of horse. Now, there is a chance Glen Ashton might be as well. But yeah, I can see why you'd have it between them. I like Moudon, though. I think that the way Another Way won earlier in the week makes me think that him only getting £2 for that win on Stevens' day leaves him in a bit light here. So I think he's the one that they all have to be, personally, myself. On to the 103 then, Deck. The Bobby Joe Chase Day, February 21st handicap chase will probably be there. I love the Bobby Joe Chase, one of my favourite races of the season, actually. So just the 12 here. Interesting enough race. We've a few here that were, you know, we've seen a good few times. Good old Where's Frankie is stalwart as well at Fairyhouse. But who was the one you like here, Deck?
I thought Attaboy Archie, and he was quite an eye catcher now the last day. He's had 4 chase runs. Emma Sweeney takes the ride again. The horse has never run, which is a little bit of a concern, and probably why I will take him on. But look, I wouldn't put anyone off. Having the trainer, Carl Thornton's in flying form as well, but he did catch my eye now. Look, well behind Nelson County, you won well, but watch him coming over the last, and yeah, definite eye catcher. Yeah, but the one I'll probably side with is Hit the Hay Son, Ian Donahue, 7-year-old, pulled up in the top race on New Year's Day, which was won by Carl Thornton. And congratulations again, Carl. We're delighted for you. But he'd won 2 chases before that. He handled heavy ground at Fairyhouse before. Then he's gone to Haydock and won. Josh Williamson takes the 5 off. Ian has proved he's able to keep horses on the go and winning, and it's hard to see him not keeping this one going and winning.
Yeah, it's he's having a brilliant season, Ian, all right, and yeah, you could definitely have to give him a chance. You could just forgive him the run the last day. I'm going to take a chance on an 11-year-old, Boulders Gate, for Denise O'Shea. It's a horse that's won off much higher marks and has performed in this race in the past as well. I think he was second in this race behind Where's Frankie 2 years ago off 109 when Rachel Blackmore rode him. And I think he ran this race again last year. He was third behind One Horse Army, again off 109. He's won off marks of 111 and has been placed off marks in and around that as well. So even though he's an 11-year-old and he's kind of might be coming back down, down the handicap, he ran well for a long way in a seasonal reappearance at Limerick and then just kind of got tired in the home straight. He's down to 102. He's ran well in this race a few times. Heavy ground should be fine. Sean Flanagan up. I would give him a chance at probably a big price, Boulders Gate. So take a little chance there. I do hear what you're saying, Attaboy Archie, though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a few quid came for him now.
Oh, absolutely. Like, and I suppose the yard's been in great form. They've had a write-off now over the last few weeks. They've landed some nice punts, stuff we all like to see. And yeah, you could see them giving it a go again here. Yeah,
for sure. The 138 then is the Bet Victor Salarina Mares Novice Hurdle over 2 mile 2. The recently purchased Old School Outlaw, now in the colours of JP McManus, is going to be getting a little bit of weight off Plastil and Ashion for Willie Mullins, Paul Town and Jigginstown House Stud. Chosen Comrade in there as well for Peter Fahey. Interesting enough runner, one that you like. And Paul Leachgate, I think he followed us on socials there quite recently. He runs a blog about his horses, so if anybody does see him online, check out his blog. I was reading a few bits about it there. And Surprise Package was a personal favourite of mine as well. I quite liked him, and I obviously had Freedom to Dream as well. Some horses I had plenty of time for.
We should probably tweet the blog, Andy.
Sure. Jenny Mack, we should probably have him on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He should probably come on and have a chat with us.
Yeah, if you're listening.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, Paul. You're more than welcome. Just DM the page. Anyway, Deck, this looks like a good race. What's your thoughts here? Who do you like?
Well, look, I'd be keen on Chosen Comrade no matter what happens here, going to Cheltenham on better ground. I was really taken by her. I won't back her on Saturday on the ground. I don't think she's going to handle it. She just, like that day at Limerick, it was good ground and she was grabbing the horse like a good flat horse, so I think the ground will be very, very important to her. And look, I've already backed her for the Dawn Run, and I'd be keen to back her again. Like if she turns up and we're getting good ground on the Thursday now. It's still on Thursday.
It's switched now. It's on the Monday. It's on the Tuesday now. The Dawn Run, isn't it? It's on the old course. It's swapped. Right. It's swapped at the Mayor's Hurdle. I'm pretty sure.
That's probably the day she doesn't want it on.
Yeah.
I would like. I wonder what kind of mark has she got, Andy? Because Leopardstown could have been Leopardstown for the handicap could have been.
She's only 2 runs over hurdles. I'm not sure if you need 3 to run at the Dublin Racing Festival handicap.
We should only need a mark, like it's not.
Yeah. If I was to give her a mark, it like she's gone and beaten what a run to the Queen, is it? And then behind Echo and Silence. Now Echo and Silence, as I've told you before, I think she's serious.
But that was heavy ground that day.
Yeah, and that's 127, 11 lengths. Like she probably has a mark of 116, 117, somewhere between 116 to 118. But you would imagine she'd be very well handicapped off that. In my opinion, she would be anyway.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think she is. Like, if you're gonna get good ground, Leopardstown's your best chance at it. But look, I unfortunately I don't think she'll handle the ground. But going forward on the better ground, I'll be on side of her definitely, because I was really taken by her that day, and I do think the world of her. So just don't give up on her, and when the ground changes, you might be getting a really, really nice price about her. But look, Old School Outlaw, Andy, I'm not sure the form of that race is all that. Like I'm just not. Top Bambino Fever was better at Fairyhouse last week. I'm not fully sold. I just don't know. I know they were well clear of the third, but the third was Radiator Springs and really struggled to beat Like a Light Switch, who's in here as well. Like a Light Switch was beaten off 102 in the handicap hurdle at Cork. Like, I don't think the form is all that. Carry On Heidi, I think, is an interesting runner here. She was a winner of a maiden. We actually covered at Clonmel back in October. She won at 20-1. She's ran 3 solid races since. She was 5 lengths off Echo and Silence in that race at Punchestown, Andy. Look, she could run a big race at a price. She could certainly run into the places, but I'd probably be with Place de la Nation, even if she has to, give away a penalty. 5-year-old, 2 wins over hurdles, 5th in the Triumph. What she given £4 here today, but she might be just too good for this.
Yeah, it's a race I'll be sitting on the fence. I think Place de la Nation Old School Outlaw would be. I'd be nearly taking whichever one's the bigger price. I don't know really. It's probably going to be a coin flip for me.
We've prices for this. Old School Outlaws 1-2.
Oh well, then I'll definitely be with Place de la Nation, even with the penalty. Yeah.
I'd be with Carry On Heidi before getting involved with Old School Outlaws.
30. I see it here. 33-1. Carry On Heidi. That's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely think she could be worth €1 each way.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Place de la Nation, the prices is probably where I'd be looking at myself. The 210 is the Bet Victor still best odds guaranteed maiden hurdle. This is a hot enough maiden hurdle. Shuttle Diplomacy, Straight John, and Saratoga, probably the three picks of the litter at the minute. Lincoln Desoy, obviously very disappointing when last seen, I think it was at Naas. Interesting race deck. Saratoga, we were both very impressed by his debut, not by his jumping, but just how well he hit the line after, jumping awfully. And then Shuttle Diplomacy rated 126. A horse I have an awful lot of time for. Like, people are nominating King Rascal Grey for possibly a Grade 1 at Dublin Racing Festival. There wasn't much between them at Limerick. King Rascal Grey actually getting, I think it was £7 off Shuttle Diplomacy that day as well, for a 2 3/4 lengths defeat. Kaiser Ball and I Started a Joke, who subsequently won, filling up the other places that day. This is a really interesting race. I think Shuttle Diplomacy is going to be a lot better than 126 when it's all said and done. It's just very, very hard to trust him. And then I do like Straight John in terms of, horses going hurdling straight away at 4 years of age. Now, I know he's 5 now, but having a second start, I'd expect a lot of improvement there. And then I've already talked there about Saratoga, but out of those three decks, is there anything else looking to catch your eye, or who do you like?
No, look, I'd be keen to take on Shuttle Diplomacy. I think it was a very, very solid run in the Cheltenham bumper. But other than that, he's been disappointing, I think. The second to King Rascal, look, I don't know. Suddenly King Rascal's become an absolute hype machine, and is not one that would be on my radar at all at the moment. I don't really get it. Is it? Are people just looking at the number 3 beside Shuttle Diplomacy's name because it was at Cheltenham, and then going, look, this King Rascal must be a good horse? I don't think there's a lot of substance to the form. And Saratoga, look, I think if he jumps better, he wins. He's won on heavy on the flat of the stall. He's got he must have a massive engine, because it was very impressive the way he picked up and hit the line Punchestown on New Year's Eve. So I think if he jumps better, he'll win this. He could win it with ease.
Okay, so that's it's a bit of a shout there, Deck. I think I would be with Shuttle Diplomacy, but it's very hard to trust him though. I do think he's got a few races in him though. The 243, another maiden hurdle, Declan Maria Combs Memorial Maiden Hurdle. 12 runners here, Deck. Anything catch your eye?
There's one in here, Andy, that I've been talking about for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting that he's turning up in a maiden for unplaced horses. I thought this horse was going to be good enough to win a handicap at the first time of asking. It sounded as a bell. He was 27 lengths behind I Started a Joke the last day. He beat Boystown when he won his point-to-point at Quakerstown. He was third in the Old Town point-to-point last February. The one that we've been harping on about now for most of the season. 33 lengths behind, starting 15 at Christmas. I just think if he's improved now and if he's improved where he's ready enough, where he's ready to go and win a race, I don't see why they leave this behind. I think he'd be very, very tough to beat if they've gotten to that stage of his career where he's starting to develop into a proper racehorse. Ian Donoghue does have 2 interesting ones in here: Silver Salute and Double Power. Silver Salute, 7-year-old, beat 16 lengths in a Leopardstown maiden. The 2 of them actually ran quite well in Leopardstown maidens over Christmas. Silver Salute was in the first time pieces. Obviously, he's owned by Dave Amon, friend of the show, and good luck, Dave. Look, I hope he wins it for you, Dave. I'd be absolutely delighted, but my money will be on Sound as a Bell, because I'd say he's a right one, and it's just taken him a little bit more time than certainly I expected. I thought he could have been winning a maiden first time up, but I think he's got to be good enough to win a maiden for unplaced horses. Yeah, I won't disagree with you there. I know how long you've been talking about him. I'm not going to be in any way trying to take he's
you on.
The only one that has let the form down But well, he didn't. He's gone and won a point after. But Boys Town has boosted the form for him, but he hasn't got the boost on the racetrack himself, and we haven't seen the winner. But the second and fourth have both won on the track.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're dead right. I'm happy to follow you in on that one there, Dick. The Adair Manor Opportunity Handicap Hurdle next to 318 over 2 miles. Bit of a minefield now, this one, as most of the Adair Manor races usually are. Who'd you come down on here?
Look, there's a filly in here we mentioned before Christmas, Andy, Felicity Smock. She was running as a 3-year-old in a handicap at Leopardstown. She's obviously 4 now. She gets the allowance. She made a handicap debut in Punchestown back in November, and she ran a satisfactory race. I thought I'd just be putting a line through the Limerick race. Look, heavy ground around Limerick at Christmas, and when you're dropped out, I just don't think you can make the ground up. But at the same time, she's only 4. I know she's getting the allowances, but it's still risky. I think, backing such a young horse in a handicap. I'd probably be with Bill the Bridge, 5-year-old, 5th on the second handicap run on New Year's Eve. Gavin Cromwell. Gavin Cromwell actually won the race with a horse first time up in a handicap. That was very, very impressive. I can't pronounce the name. I can say it, but I couldn't pronounce it on the day. I couldn't pronounce it after Jerry Hannon shouted or him, can't remember home, but I'd say it's a nice enough horse. I don't know how many pound the handicapper gave, but I'd say he wasn't too lenient. I'd have a slight worry about the ground now for Bill the Bridge, but as kid come back to 2 miles the last day and being kept at 2 miles might be the day.
Yeah, I kind of struggled with this race now myself. I think you could give a chance based on where he kind of came from in his last 2 maiden hurdles. Silent Guardian, I think, has the ability to win a handicap there for Anthony McCann, but it's a handicap debut. Hood is on, or the hood is retained. 102 is a workable mark, but might take the run. He's the one I'm going to be watching closely. Probably not going to have a bet, but if the market spoke for him, I'd give him a chance. But he's ran okay behind the likes of Sam Bacco and the Reverend. So mark for 102, definitely workable, might take a run.
Finnegan 2 from 2 on the card.
Could well be. Then with the 353, then deck, the Get Daily bet boosts at Bet Victor flat race. Look, Gavin Cromwell is back and he has one here at Barn Park. First time tongue tie kind of raises an eyebrow, I suppose. 6-year-old in the bumper. He looks to be the one you might want to be with based on, as we've talked, Gavin Cromwell does do well, particularly well in bumpers. Runs a few more in them as of the last couple of years. You've got Green Hint, Generous Risk there. Is that took your eye?
Yeah, I did want to be with Gavin's like a point-to-point winner at Bilton. The fourth that day has won since. The second was the second that day was previously second to a horse called Bouty Doolin. Has an Albert Bartlett entry. Has an entry in the maiden hurdle at Exeter next week. Is trained by Rebecca Curtis, and in the what was that horse she had that won in RSA? Whalen's Boy.
Whalen's Boy, yeah.
Yeah, in those colours. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. Might be worth sticking in your tracker and having a look at Exeter next week, because he got an Albert Bartlett entry without ever jumping a hurdle yet. So right. I just thought Green Hint and Generous Risk. Look, Keep Him Company could possibly be the best bumper horse we've seen in Ireland this season. I know the one that's now with Tony Martin, Oh My Lord, was visually very, very impressive, but something really, really likeable about Keep Him Company as well. Generous Risk was he did chase him home, but then he was only third at Leopardstown. I thought it was a little bit disappointing. Then Green Hint, a point-to-point winner. Second in the bumper at the Punchestown Festival behind that horse. What's it called? In the Drew colours for Willie Mullins. wonderful every day.
Wonderful every day. This day, she won the Land Rover bumper.
Yeah. I'm not sure the Land Rovers. It's usually a hot enough race. I'm not sure it's worked out amazingly well.
She was poor at Huntington or something there after that, wasn't
it? Yeah, very, very poor at Huntington. So yeah, look, I'll be with Gavin's, Andy.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll take a chance on him myself. Right, anything else you want to cover, Deck? I know we've got Cheltenham on Saturday. I think we can, if there's anything you fancy there, I can rattle through a quick Trixie or Yankee.
Yeah, look, I have a treble at Naas, Andy, but I know you're going to Cheltenham the weekend, and you're going to check out that mastic on the window in the Argyle Bar for me.
That's the plan, yeah, absolutely. I'll keep an eye on socials for that. I've taken a quick look. So at the Triumph Trial, Maestro Conti is going to be your favourite, but I've been really impressed with John Allen's and now subsequently sold to Paul Nicholls' Manila Yoga. You know how much I like Active Innocence as a horse, and despite him being beat at 2-7 and giving, upwards of 1.5 stone, I think, to Manila Yoga and Newbury, they were miles clear to third. I think they're two extremely good horses, so I'll be back in Manila Yoga at the Triumph Trial. He's around 5-2 at the minute. If I could get over 2-1 on Jaguar in the race after the 115, the handicap chase, I still think he could be a potential outsider in the Ryanair chase. I think if you got a half decent ride in the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup or December Gold Cup or whatever they call it these days, he'd have probably won. I think he just needs to pretty much jump around in that handicap chase unless there's a more sinister plan, I suppose. The cross country, I don't think I'll be allowed out this time. I'm still waiting to get out to the middle of the track for that one, so I'm hoping the ground dries up a little bit. Interesting to see Favori de Chandu after his Paddy Power win up there at the top of the weights. I might be able to help myself, Deck, with Martin Kitely. Miscaria 10 pulled up the last twice, second race after wind surgery now, but he ran okay behind Stumptown in the cross country. He ran well for a long way, but in particular he ran well in the cross country in December 2024. He was only beaten 4 lengths by Stumptown off 135. Goes here off 125. He is a 12-year-old, been pulled up the last twice. You're taking a big leap of faith, but I don't mind. I'll take a chance.
Well, Martin Keeley only trains winners around Cheltenham.
He is, and Ascaria 10 knows the track well. He's 10 pounds lower than that run behind Stumptown. 12-year-old, so older horses can go well in the cross country. We all know that. If you isolate him into his cross country form, I wouldn't be surprised to see a few quid from him there in the cross country. And then anyone that knows me as well, I have two of probably my favourite horses ever going into Cotswold Chase. Great to see Florin Porter back. Hard to see him winning the Cotswold on his first run after I think he slipped a tendon as well. So it's just great to see him back, to be honest with you. Hopefully he has a good time and enjoys himself. This is quite crazy though. As Grey Dawning 2's on to beat Spillans Tower, who I know has been over hurdles, and I thought he ran all right behind El Fabiolo, to be honest, over 2 mile 3, chasing around a grade 1.
It was a lot better than his run in the Brown Lad, but that Brown Lad very, very hot. Like nearly everything that's ran in it behind Letos has won since. So
yeah, Nagger Staffordshire not doubled up. It's been a pretty strong race. Look, if you take Spillans Tower's peak form, like dual grade 1 winners in novice, just chinned by Factifile in a Durkin, went off favourite for a King George, obviously didn't run too well, and I think Mark Welch waved the white flag behind Galopin Des Champs after that mistake at the 4th last, but like you can beat 22 lengths by Galopin Des Champs. It is what it is, I suppose. Grey Dawning for me, like what the best thing he's done is beating Royal Pagoi at Haydock. He's barely came off the bridle. The ground was good to soft. Royal Pagoi is what did we say? Usually takes people's lunch money off 13, 14 stone around Haydock. Like
he's a horse who was capable of running in grade 1s, but had he'd no problem carrying big weights on heavy ground. So he was a class above the horses who were going to turn up in the Peter Marsh, and he was just I don't think Grey Dawning is a significantly better horse than Spillans Tower, and I sure as hell don't think he giving him 6. If they both turn up at their best, Grey Dawning's not giving Spillans Tower 6 pounds in my opinion anyway. So I'll happily take a chance on Spillans Tower at those kind of weights, and
based on like previous form. The International Hurdle, brilliant race as well. New Line versus Sergino. Hopefully we get a good clash there. And then we've got one that I'm quite keen on. Obviously, Deck, we were on the podcast with the lads over at Odds Checker. The Cleve Hurdle, a horse I gave a quick nod for the stayers, was Marchand 2. 7-year-old rated 144. He's around 5 or 6 to 1 for the Cleve. I'm still not really overly sold on Impulse Trois. Gale Road loves Cheltenham, but like is exposed. Doddy the Great's exposed. Cam Cenas is probably not good enough, and then Strong Leader absolutely hates the Cotswolds nearly as much as Solness does. So I think Marchand 2 is a great price in the Cleve Hurdle to go close as well. To like, even if you're afraid of one horse, never be afraid of one horse. But getting £6 off Impulse Trois and Strong Leader, I think he's got a really good chance. He's probably one of my best bets on the card at Cheltenham. And then, as I just mentioned earlier, Active Innocence, rated 134, up and trip for the first time now. I'd be pretty disappointed if he didn't win the last. So there's a quick run through of the Cheltenham card. Deck, if you want to share your treble for Naas or what you have.
Yeah, and look, geez, I'd love to be heading over with you, Andy, but it was
can't be getting on a plane every week, I suppose.
You know yourself. I do have some responsibilities.
Yeah.
So kind of raging I'm not getting over, but also really looking forward to my day in Fairyhouse. But the novice handicap chase, only 155, 2.5 miles. My way of thinking, he's a maiden hurdle winner. He plays not. It's very obvious. As laughing at me.
Raglan Road is currently in there as well, so I thought it was going to be one or the other.
Is he going to run on that ground? Like we're talking heavy ground. That's why I swerved away from Raglan Road. Right. Otherwise, I would have been all over him. But my way of thinking was placed off 123 over hurdles. He ran in decent beginners. I know he was pulled up in one, but you know we'll forgive that. But he's ran behind all the horses you want to be running behind. He was hampered 2 out in that chase at Limerick that Moudan won. He's in here off 116. He was, like, when I say he was placed, he was beating 13 lengths now, but I'd say he has to be more than capable of 116 on his handicap chase debut. Then the Limestone Lad, the grade 3. I look, so Dale, if he runs, he should go and win this. And what we've seen from him this season, like, you know, you're competing in grade 1s. He you know, he doesn't have to carry a penalty. He should just go and win this, I think. Am I right in saying he doesn't have to carry a penalty?
He's £7, 11.10, but like the horses he's given the weight to.
He's way ahead in ratings.
Glen Killen is the one you'd probably be a little bit worried about. Obviously, Work Ahead is in there, was having his first run of the season. Did get a champion hurdle entry though. And then Kill His Story, probably the one you'd call the Joker in the deck. You wouldn't really know what he's capable of.
Obviously Leon Beltry gave us that funny story about when he seen him. I don't know whether you remember, and he. I do recall. I remember that. Follow, he put him up as a horse to follow before anyone had ever seen him. It was quite a funny story. But Cashildale Lad has been competing in grade 1s more so than Glen Killen has, I would say. Like I know Glen Killen still ran well. He's about second behind El Fabiola, but Cashildale Lad has looked more like a potential champion hurdle horse. I think what we've seen, and he should just go and win this. And then the grade 3 novice chase, Flicker of Hope, Andy, I'd imagine you're looking at him as well, because that was very, very impressive over course and distance the last day.
It was,
you know, Boss of the Brown is in here who I thought would put it up to him, but I think that was a really, really impressive performance, and it's difficult to look past him.
Yeah, slightly surprised they're turning him out so quickly if they do declare him. Like he has, are they trying to get the runs into him now for the Irish National? He already has 3 runs though, so I don't know. Definitely. Like he's proved me wrong. Like Mark Fahey's done a fantastic job on him this year. He's really, really nice staying chaser. And if he goes and wins this, like opens a lot of doors from. Obviously, the Irish Nationals is most likely where they're going, but like, I don't think he hasn't got a Cheltenham entry, has he? No. Yeah. So it's just really nice horse.
I was impressed with him now the last day. He's to give £3 away, but like he's to give £3 the boss of the Brownies, but he hadn't beat a fair way out.
Yeah.
He's beaten him well. Like the £3 should be no problem, and it was just it was a nice performance, and it's one that stuck with me. Like when I was going through the card, I was like, oh, he won't be beaten.
Yeah, I was just going through the rest of that nice card. I did notice that Sound as a Bell had a Albert Bartlett.
And I was so much happier to see him declared for the maiden for unplaced horses, because would I have to go and spend some money to wait to get it all back at the Punchestown Festival? Probably just get it. I could see him going and winning a big handicap at the Punchestown Festival.
Yeah.
Or he could possibly go to he could possibly go to Fairyhouse and win a big handicap and go to Punchestown running a grade 1.
Yeah, you never know. You never know where the Gavin Cromwell horses could stop. The bumper at Naas looks really good as well. I know there was a lot of money for Beechwood Road on his debut. That race turned into a total sprint. Was on the 27th up at Leopardstown, won by Barnahash Mason of Jonathan Sweeney's. I wouldn't be surprised to see a much improved performance from Beechwood Road in the concluding bumper at Naas, should he be declared, with an end-to-end gallop. I'm very interested to see Love Sign Donau for Willie Mullins as well, son of Goliath de Berlay, and then obviously Lee was talking about Touch the Clouds, who's entered there as well. That I would imagine that's going to be a really strong bumper at Naas on Sunday, so maybe keep an eye out on that. Deck, I think that brings us to an end of TAP 142. Plenty of ammo for a possible nap at the TAP. Happy to go with Sound as a Bell on your nod if you want in the unplaced maiden. We both fancied Mudan at the top of the card as well. I know you had it between two of them. They're probably the two strongest bets on the card for me. And then obviously I do Plaster last year and have a chance too. But very, very interesting.
I just think it Sound as a Bell that he could run in other maidens. So they good enough to go and win it. So and those boys like in a punt.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on that we'll leave it there. Thanks for joining me, Deck. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll leave links down to the other the point to point page, behind the bridle. We'll pop links down below to that. And thanks very much for listening, guys. All the very best, and bye bye.